Want more pillows?
No, I don't think so.
Sure.
Abundance is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, here's Charles. Oops.
Who?
Charles.
Who's Charles there? It's Harry. Hi, Charles.
Yes, I was trying to get the emails and contacts to get in.
Should be there. Check again, maybe refresh your browser, your email browser.
Okay, I'll try that. See what happens.
Well, I'll stay online with you until you get it. That was good. His Comcast reason gets the nail. It's been on the glitch, so he gave me a new email, which is great.
Oh, good.
I can use
Glad you called.
Yeah, me too. I can use that from now on.
Oh, good.
What a nice looking nest. Hello, my lovely friends from near and far, very far. Welcome to Wednesday night live stream. A couple of folks are having difficulty getting their email, and that's what this text is about. I sent another link to a gentleman, Charles. Let's see, just went to the two. That will work. Okay, good. She went to YouTube. That Nancy Jones. Smart. Smart. Because I am on YouTube. If I'm on your friends or if you've subscribed to me, then it's on YouTube. So welcome to the magic, the mystery, the phenomena of the star tetrahedron, the energetic wave form that we call the Christ field. It is the divine masculine of power interlaced and unified with the divine feminine feeling nature of love, which creates what we call the mystical marriage of spirit and matter, which then creates this consciousness wave form. It's not a physical form, it's a light wave form that exists within, through, and around you, front, back, all around. And as it turns rapidly, that's where some of the mystery is. It then in the very center opens a vortex. And that vortex, you see, is within the very center of your heart. It is called, excuse me, the jewel in the lotus. And as it opens into the void. And within the void, which we call the mind of God, source, doesn't matter the word, all possibilities already exist within the mind of God. It's just when you close your eyes and it's dark and that eye's closed, you could think of anything. Well, that is, if you will, the mind of God. It is a mind, but it's within unmanifest, not seen. The Christ field is able to open the doorway, the vortex back into the void, and as it then peers into the void, it shines light. That's what the Christ light is. It shines light into the void. And it's like the lens of a projector. On one side is the void. The light projector of the Christ field then illuminates what's in the void. It creates a reflection off of it. It comes through the lens of the Christ field, the star tetrahedron, and it's these prismatic facets of the star tetrahedron that are turning in all ways, up, down, around, in and through, in a infinite movement of this field of energy. All of these vortexes, you see, they then literally emanate out and create that to be a refraction and a reflection of what has been illuminated within the void. And so manifestation occurs. Now, I was going to talk a little bit about manifestation tonight because when we, of course, decide what it is that we would like to illuminate after our meditation, we're in the quietness, and we decide, okay, now this is my time of creation. I'm creating prosperity. I'm creating a beautiful home. I'm creating health. I'm sending love and light to someone. So what we do, we sit quietly at the doorway, and we now are the light of the Christ field. We have assembled in our meditation. And we then esoterically are then looking into the open doorway, and we illuminate, which already exists. The prosperity you are seeking, it already exists. The perfect relationship, the home, the healing for the individual, it already is existing. It just isn't here in time space, because if it is a healing, even though the individual has a perfect reflection within the void, the mind of God, they are holding in their consciousness around them, like clothing, like a wrap, a coat of their own, we could call it ignorance, misperceptions, beliefs. And it's that coat that then keeps, if you will, being the thoughts and the forms that keep their physical form in that structure. Well, when we again peer into the void and we see the perfection of them, the perfection already existing within the void, and we illuminate it as it's arising forth, then that is then what is going to be created. Now, the other very important point you see to your creation is that you must then give it life. And that is the breath. We've been working a lot within the last 5-6 meditations online with the Ujjayi breathing, with the Soham breathing, and breathing from out of the open doorway, spirit. Well, spirit is breath. Spirit is life. And so I've invited you, when we're doing our meditation, to be very conscious that when you open the doorway, when you're breathing, you're then breathing out spirit. Not only is the doorway open and you can illuminate what you are choosing, but you are then with the in-breath, you are then summoning and calling the life of spirit. Breath is spirit, breath is life. And so as you are then illuminating this individual that you are now seeing in perfection, you must then give it life. If you are illuminating prosperity, then you must give it life. And that is then in co-union with seeing, holding the seeing of that individual. It's also then feeling the breath of spirit flowing in, through, and around and animating. It's the breath of spirit, you see, that gives life to the creation. And so it's a very important part of the threefold, you see, part of manifestation. There is the illumination, looking at what is within the void, what we would call the Father. So we're illuminating the Father. We then, through the Son, are then summoning it out as the creative holding with this prism of light that we are. But then also, you see, we're then summoning with the breath, spirit, to animate it. So I'm encouraging you, you see, in your meditation, when we're doing the star tetrahedron meditation, that you be quite conscious that as you're doing it, you're in breath. It doesn't have to be that you're totally lost in your breath, but you're knowing and feeling that as you're breathing in, you're really breathing out of the heart. Oxygen's coming in, that's purposing the cells, the tissues of the body. But what you are also bringing in the Christ manifestation field is the breath of spirit. And so that is then the so. And then the hum is the letting go. You're watching and feeling then that which you have filled with breath, with life, is now proceeding out into this dimensional world. And then what we call the eoma, which is source soup. It's the soup that when you then emanate that image picture into this soup, unseen, if you will, it then literally, the eoma then gathers and precipitates particles around it, and it becomes manifest and full of life within form. So this is actually how the loaves and the fishes were created. It's how the individual Jesus who mastered the Christ field was able to heal. He didn't try and heal them. He didn't try and change them. He simply saw the perfection of what already exists within the mind of God, illuminated it, held intention and focus upon that illuminated feeling, seeing, and then as then that arose forth around and through the star, it was like breathing life into it and then letting it go. So it's not a doing, it's a seeing and a then summoning and a feeling. The eoma will then simply gather around the perfection of that which you have breathed life into, that image, thought, feeling. And it is the eoma that then precipitates it into physical manifestation. So in one way, it's an easy process. And that's why we've been working over these last, I suppose, year or two with the star tetrahedron first. We then moved to the breath, and then we began to actually see and feel breath arising forth from inside out. But now you see we're moving to another level of our creatorship, that we're knowing that now we can actually imbue it with life. We know that breath is life, spirit is life, and so it's the spirit of breath coming through us. You see, the whole universe is breathing. Even though you are also breathing, there is a field of the consciousness that is source being, the eoma. It is also always breathing. It's the spirit life of the universe, always breathing, always moving. But you see, it's a source soup that has no creative ideas or thoughts resting upon it, except for that which is manifested in the stars and the humans and the plants. But generally speaking, it's the void out there. It's the, if you will, darkness of super space. But it's the eoma, it's the breath of God, of spirit, you see, that's always breathing. And then it is a Christ field, a Christ being that then summons from out of the void the particular image, feeling, and then giving then the breath of spirit, then the eoma, you see, the substance, source soup then gathers around it. And this is how stars, it's how planets, it's how human beings, all creation comes from the Christ field. The eoma is the substance. Breath of spirit is the life. So that's a clarification as we're working with our manifestation. The other thing I wanted to talk a little bit about tonight was health. I sent in the link tonight some information about turkey tail mushrooms by Paul Stamets, who is a master of mushrooms. There's a beautiful video, a full-length movie about mushrooms that is just phenomenal. Mushrooms have been on the planet for 1.5 billion years. And because of that, you see, they have adapted to anything that evolution has thrown at them. Doesn't matter if it was dinosaurs, didn't matter if it was snowball Earth, it doesn't matter if it was the great plasma eruption in 12,700 BC that was part of the Great Flood. Mushrooms adapted. And so they have a great adaptive ability, immune system, which is why he has found that turkey tail mushroom in particular, if you will, vivifies and brings life to the immune. I take turkey tail in a powder form 4 to 5 times a week anyway. As I say in the email, I simply take a tablespoon. The powder is the less expensive way to do it. I then put fill the tablespoon almost up with honey. And then I simply take this blob of this half teaspoon of turkey tail, put it on the honey, and down the hatch it goes. Same with the lion's mane, which is about creating the brain structure to continue to be very precise, impeccable, and clear and healed. So I would encourage you looking into these two things. The reason I mention the turkey tail in particular is now, of course, they're bringing out the COVID Delta. Well, you can be well assured they're going to bring out, I'm sure, many more different varieties, and you'll get another jab for it, and pharma will make some more money. I encourage you to do your research. Look at individuals who are not profiting and not looking for something by what they're doing. Paul Stamets, Zach Bush, many other individuals out there who are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Dr. David Cohen. David is not David Cohen, but Dr. Cohen, who I could send you the link to. Brilliant research on what really is taking place with all the things on the planet as far as viruses. Zach Bush is a virologist. Not only that, he has 3 other degrees, PhDs, in his doctorate handbag. And so he knows that every day we breathe in probably 100,000 different viruses. We were originally made from viruses. It's part of the genome of our very existence. And if the immune system is strong and we are adapting to each thing that evolution is now bringing forth, then like a mushroom, we're going to adapt to what's happening. If we have fear and worry and are in deep concern, we're creating a field of energy within the aura, within the body, that's open to disease. All disease is simply emotion that is locked and held within the body. And if it's around and in and through the body is open and open to disease coming in, viruses, whatever. I encourage you to do your research. To trust individuals out there who are profiting, who have some agenda, be it the CDC, be it the professionals in the politicians, be it those who are hired by the politicians. The world is just filled with too much information that you need to really do your research and find out what is truth. What can I really rely upon? Because you can be well assured that the pharma, the vaccine companies, they're very excited about new jabs. Walgreens, every time they do a COVID test, there's $90 in their pocket. I'm not saying anyone is bad people, but there is things happening that are not on the up and up. I personally, I'm not interested in any vaccine. I keep my immune system strong. I drink the best water. I eat very nutritious food. I keep my thoughts and my feelings impeccable. I meditate twice a day because I know the earth is in for a great change. I know that things are destructuring rapidly. And humanity, because of their ignorance has been ingesting chemicals, glycophage, air particles. Um, the amount of pollution we have in the atmosphere and what we're taking in is phenomenal. And so, of course, the cells are no longer strong and adaptable like they once were, and they're very open to viruses. Viruses that are, destructive viruses. If the immune system is strong and your health is strong, then you will adapt. That is evolution. Evolution has always been you adapt to the environment. Yes, humanity is creating a very, if you will, destructive, strange environment. But again, you can adapt to anything because you are not the body. You already are within your higher self a great Christed being who can simply manifest and create. And if your thoughts and your feelings are on love and joy and peace and harmony within the body, and you continue to purpose yourself in your meditation and what you do, you can be well assured that your upgrade will always then be consistent with what evolution is bringing. Because evolution and what is happening on the earth, it is going to be a destructuring and a breaking down of almost all that we've seen, all that we've created, because there must be a new paradigm. The ignorance of technology, I could go on, greed and money and power and dis-ease and pharma and glycophage. It's destroyed the planet. And Earth always rebounds with more diversity, more evolution. There's been 5 mass extinctions. And so it's the most important time in our lives right now to be impeccable about our health, our process, our meditation, our desire to really be part of this new evolution that's before us, because there's going to be so much more taking place. So that's my rant for that, my friends. So we will do some breath now. Again, we call it the Soham breath because on the in breath, there's the feeling of almost like the sound of so. In yoga, we call it the Ujjayi breath. And the Ujjayi breath, again, you gently hold the head a little bit back over the spinal column and chin down. And as you're breathing in, it creates that same sound. It's almost as though you're breathing a little bit up the back of the throat, up through the back of the head, if you will. But what you are doing, you see, you are then focusing that what you are breathing is from the open doorway within the heart. The mind is now resting within the heart. And with the breath, you are then summoning spirit, life. It then flows in and through you. Part of, again, you're becoming more dynamic in your life. Feel the spirit flowing through your body. And then with a gentle exhale, simply letting go and allowing spirit, this light that we brought from the void, from God's source, to simply emanate out from us. Hold for a couple of counts, and once again, the very clear feeling and intention. My mind is in my heart, and I'm watching and feeling this living spring arising forth. It's then bringing life and light to my body. I can feel it, and then I let it go. And I have no fear, I have no worry, I have no concern. God, I am. So let's do about 5 minutes of Soham breath, please. As always, I will do Soham with my eyes open. I like to do it driving, gardening, throughout the day. So deep, deep, soulful breath. Good word, soulful. With each in-breath, you can feel the body expanding, creating space within the cells and tissues. I am not the body. And very easily now, the formation of the star tetrahedron, energetic form built in consciousness and light, the focusing of the mind, the love of the feeling nature. The upper triangulation is divine power, which is the mind. It's not the ego mind of thinking, it's the silent mind of focused light, pure light. That creates then divine power, intention. The lower triangulation of divine love is the feeling, is the love, whatever you hold intention upon and love profoundly, you draw it to you as part of the essence of the universe. What you imagine and have intention upon and you love it, you then become one with it. So this is the Christ field. Now, as the vortex opens within the center and there is the void, imagine the void is somewhat like Google. When you want something on Google, you simply type it in and Google brings it to you. You don't have to dive into Google and look around and search and get lost in the internet. You simply type it in. It's the same with the void. All things already exist within the void. All you need to do is, if you will, esoterically look within and decide what you want to see. What do I want to feel? Well, of course, in our meditation, you want to see the living light of Christ arising forth from within you. And as that is then what you are typing into your void address, it automatically is there. You see it, you feel it, you illuminate it. And as you're illuminating it, it then is arising forth automatically. You now, with the breath, each in breath, you're feeling the Christ field of living light coming through you. It's then touching the facets of the star tetrahedron, and it's now spinning out living life from you, moving through all the cells and tissues of your body, creating every cell and tissue to drink in this new system. So this is the meditation. Afterwards, you see, when you're done with your meditation in the evening or the morning, and you want to move into creatorship, you simply, again, assemble the Christ system by focusing the mind. It's now silent. Bring it to the heart, illuminate the star tetrahedron, imagine and feel. Imagination is the key. Even though you might not see it, if you imagine it long enough, it will become real and you will experience and see it. The void opens, and then in your creatorship, you simply decide what I choose to imagine in the void. Prosperity, flowing, dripping from the heavens, money, gold, prosperity in all ways. You don't care how it's coming. You simply imagine, see, feel it. And as you see and feel it, and then with each breath, you're actually then giving it life and light. And as you do that for 3 to 5 minutes in your creatorship, you then let it go out in the universe, and the Eoma is already beginning to draw it and precipitate it to you. If you could do it instantaneously like the Christ, you would have loaves and fishes. Probably a lot of cats there wanting to have some of your fishes. So I'm going to take you through the formulation of the star tetrahedron, and we will sit for about 35 minutes. And again, with breath, every breath you are summoning spirit from out of the void to give life to the golden sunlit glory that is arising forth as the Christ within you, all around you. When we are meditating, we like to have the spine quite erect. And as I said, with the breathing, you can have the head just a little back and then the chin slightly tucked, which is then a very straight spine. You're then breathing with the Ujjayi, the Soham, a little bit up the back through the back of the head, and then from out of the heart, spirit arising forth. So let's close the eyes and feel the body relaxing. You are always allowing more space and openness within the body as you relax. Whenever you feel tension, you breathe into it, create space, and let it go. Being aware of breathing, you bring your attention between the eyebrows and draw a line straight back. Within the center point of the mind brain, the light. You illuminate the light. Just as a light bulb would turn on, the light of the divine mind. Holding attention here, you focus it to the heart chakra at the sternum. You illuminate with your imagination the star tetrahedron. Upper triangulation is divine power, and it is turning whatever way feels comfortable. The lower triangulation, divine feminine love, apex beneath, is turning. Rotating triangulations open a doorway, a vortex. Within the very center of the chest, the heart chakra, and arising forth, the pure golden essence and the breath of spirit giving life to the living Christ flowing through, within, and all around you. Let's sit quietly together, always aware of the breath, summoning the spirit of life through the star tetrahedron. And very easily now, slowly coming back. And so I encourage you to work with your star tetrahedron meditation. You don't need to get hung up on which way is the star turning the fastest. Know that they are turning, and whatever feels comfortable for you. You will find over time that in fact they are moving left, right, up and down, in and out, and creating literally a ball of radiant, almost like diamond-like radiance. That, of course, is the Christ field. And it's where, in the pictures of Jesus, where he's holding his hand to his heart, and you see that emanation of diamond-like light. That is the Christ field. He mastered the Christ field, just as all of us are called to that mastery who choose. Once again, do your research regarding what's going on in the world today, and be clear about what is your truth, rather than what people are trying to say or give or put upon you. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks. If you need any further information about any things we've talked about, please feel free to get in touch, and blessings upon you, my friend. Thank you.